Welcome to the Crafty Kansan. Thank you for joining me. And today we're going to be taking this sign from Dollar Tree and then transforming it into a Halloween decoration. You'll need a few things to get started on this project. You're going to need some black paint, Mod Podge, a sanding sponge, the sign itself, and this simply says decor, and some kind of embellishment or accent for the sign. Also these 3-pack of metal words from the Crafter Square section, and I chose some coordinating scrapbook paper. The first thing we're going to do is to go ahead and paint the sign, and I just simply use the Apple Barrel black paint. 1 coat is sufficient. You don't necessarily have to do this step, but I wasn't sure exactly what I was going to be doing as I was going along, but I finally decided on the scrapbook paper. So now we're going to simply just trim and trace the sign onto the back side of the paper. You can do this very easily just by taking a pencil and going around. And then we're going to cut out the actual paper and put it onto the sign. Now we're going to use our Mod Podge to decoupage the paper onto the sign. So you just put a little bit on the back of the sign, put your paper on top, and then do a coat of the Mod Podge on the top. I always say that wrong. I grew up calling it Mod Podge, and I don't know if any of you are that way too, but I still call it that, even though I know that's not what it's called. So I like to do the Mod Podge on the top when the underneath is still wet. I seem to have pretty good results that way. If I let it dry and then try to do it, it doesn't work very well. I get a lot of wrinkles and areas that it's coming up. Now, I will be using this sign on a covered porch. If you're planning on using this out in the elements, I would recommend that you really seal it well with something else other than Mod Podge. But since this is going to be on my porch, I think just the Mod Podge will be great. Now we're going to take out the metal words, and it's, I think, say beware, haunted, and spooky, and I'm just kind of placing them where I think they might look good by the size of the word versus the size of the little individual signs. I'm not really a super spooky Halloween kind of person. I don't really enjoy scary movies, haunted houses, and maybe that makes me kind of boring, but I just don't enjoy being scared. So I had initially wanted this sign to have a lot of like spiders and cobwebs and spooky ghosts and scary skulls and that type of thing. But as I started going along, I was like, okay, we could still make this Halloween, but not, gory or, over the top, coffin type of decoration. So this is kind of really more my speed. And if you're out there like that kind of thing, more power to you, whatever you like. But I just really wanted to keep this kind of simple. So we're basically gluing these metal words on with a hot glue gun. I'd advise you to be kind of careful when you do this because the words are metal and the heat can transfer when you're holding the words so with your fingers. So just be careful if you're doing that because when you're pressing down, the word is kind of a little bit hot from the hot glue. Again, you can use something more strong. You could use some Gorilla Glue or some E6000 or some other more permanent adhesive for this project. So I've got the last word down, and now we need to add something to the sign. We've got a little space down there on the very last section that says beware. And I found this cute little ghost. It's a little tinsel ghost that I also picked up at Dollar Tree. It just says decor again. There's a shot. You could screenshot that UPC it if you want to look that up on the website using that information. So again, I'm just hot gluing the little ghost onto the sign. And here it is styled on my porch with some of my other projects that I did last year. Thank you for joining us again on the Crafty Kansan. Until next time.